Next up at UFC 270, we have Tony Gravely versus Saimon Oliveira. Tony Gravely, 21-7 overall. He's 3-2 in his last five. He's coming off the loss to Nate Maness a few months ago. Saimon Oliveira is 18-3. He's 5-0 in his last five, and his last loss was 2018. Tony loves to come forward with volume and power, and then he wrestles hard, and he is an old school ground and pound kind of guy. He's very strong. He uses it well for takedowns and damage. Tony's big issue is he does gas out. He's got questionable submission defense, but he does average almost 6 takedowns per fight, which is such an absurd number. Like, that's an absurd number. There are no secrets to what Tony Gravely's game plan is, and he's very good at executing it. Saimon Oliveira, he's a very slick BJJ guy. He's incredibly flexible. He's literally dangerous anywhere on the ground. And I mentioned this before. I'd compare him to Charles Oliveira, where they have similar builds. They move the same way on the mat, where they always have a hand, their feet are in the hips, and they're always working something. They don't just accept, all right, I'm in the guard now, or all right, I'm on the mat. They're always working some sort of angle, trying to create some space there. His striking does lack a bit. He throws one punch at a time. He tends to overreact to anything coming his way. So if you hit him with a jab and you throw a two behind it, he will move like very dramatically to avoid getting hit with that second shot. And by doing that, he opens himself up for combinations for if you're going to come forward with some striking, or takedowns in this case against Tony Gravely. I love Tony Gravely in this matchup. His striking is honestly much cleaner, even though he's not a striker. His wrestling will absolutely be able to get this to the ground. His top pressure is incredible. The problem is, the one thing that worries me is that 5 of his 7 losses are by submission, and 11 of Oliveira's wins are by submission. Those things don't normally matter because styles make fight, but the style is Tony Gravely 100% wants to get this to the ground. Tony Gravely has had issues on the ground with solid jiu-jitsu guys, and Saimon Oliveira wants to be on the ground. So that is the one thing that worries me, but I do think Gravely will take him down and just smother him. It's the same way Ari Farais beat Saimon Oliveira, but Tony just needs to be careful. He needs to watch elbows coming up from the bottom, and he needs to avoid scrambles at all costs. What do you think, Jake?
I have already picked against Tony Gravely lock of the week way back, I can't believe it's been almost a year now we've been doing this, but Tony Gravely, for the exact same reasons. It was Anthony Burchek. He was one of the biggest underdogs on the card. I said that he would guillotine Tony Gravely on a shot, and he got the guillotine in and went all for it and just could not finish the submission. I see this fight going the exact same way. I think Tony Gravely probably should win the fight if he can control the wrestling, but I think that Oliveira is going to be submission or bust. He jumps on guillotines. He's very good submissions. I love what Bonkiki said in the chat. That fight versus Ari Faris or Farias or something. Yeah. I've never seen so much blood in my entire life, and the craziest fight I've ever seen. Just rolling over each other. There was submission attempt after submission. They were slipping out of submissions from the blood, not even from the sweat. It looked like a scene from Dexter. Incredible fight. Anyone in the chat, please go watch that fight. Incredible. That's how tough Oliveira is. And I cannot believe I put a half unit. You can get Oliveira by submission round 1, 2, and 3. Listen to these odds. Plus 1,100, plus 1,800, and plus 2,500 to win by submission Oliveira. I think that's really kind of the only way he wins this fight, because Tony Gravely does have power in his hands as well. I think he's going to just try and wrestle, and it's whether Oliveira can get the submission or not. I think he might be able to. My pick is Tony Gravely because he should control the fight. I think he's the better fighter overall, but those odds for those submission bets are crazy for Oliveira. I could see him win by submission very, very easily.
Well, what's interesting, so this is another clash of our betting styles, because it does make sense if you think there's the opportunity for the submission. You just do a quarter of a unit on each of those, and you can get a solid payout. And if you lose, then you lose. You don't even lose a full unit. I am probably going to grab an inside the distance decision, no action bet on Saimon Oliveira, because I think he's tough enough to not get stopped. And Tony Gravely will beat you up on top, but he's not, a killer. And what that bet basically means is if Saimon Oliveira submits or stops Tony Gravely in any way, I get paid. I win my bet, I get paid, and the odds, instead of the plus whatever the hell Jacob just said, it'd probably be, I had to look at it, but it's probably plus 300, something like that, instead of the plus a gazillion. But if he loses a decision, if he just gets absolutely mauled for 3 rounds, but he sees the judge's scorecard, I get a full refund on the bet. I get my money back. The bet never happened. No skin off my back. And I think that's worth it for Saimon Oliveira because he can absolutely win by submission in this matchup, and he's tough enough to survive. So I did one of those last week. I got a refund. Perfect. No problem. That's what those bets are for. You're not going to get the greatest odds, but there is a safety net there. So I'm going to grab that. And you're only going to get that at wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 partners. Bet Online is the partner that offers that prop bet. It's a fantastic cushion bet there. There's a good opportunity to make money and protect yourself. And if you sign up with them, make a deposit and then let me know. I'll send you $50 as a thank you. And if you already have a Bet Online account, Sports Betting is our partner as well. Create an account with them. It's literally the exact same company with the exact same odds and the exact same bets, just a different URL. I'll send you $50 for that as well. DraftKings, I love Tony Gravely at $8,900. There's going to be a bunch of takedowns. They're 5 points each. Tons of control time. I love him at $8,900.
Yeah, I agree. I like Tony as well because, I mentioned that fight with all the blood. That was Oliveira a lot of times just immediately going to his back and on his back the entire time. He's threatening submissions and stuff, and he might win a scramble or two, but yeah, I think he's going to be taken down easily in this fight, just whether he can pull off the sub or not.
And then the strike line, we have 65 to 46. I think it goes the distance. It's definitely going to be more for Tony Gravely because even on top, he's stupid busy. And then Oliveira 46.
He strikes from the bottom. More. Yeah, he's one of those guys that, like you said, he's very active from the bottom, whether working submissions or throwing back, elbows from the bottom. And so I agree. I think this is probably a more play.
Yeah, it's probably a more play. And these lines do move. So you should honestly hit it right now while you're watching this because money's going to hit it. The line's going to move and it's not going to be a favorable line anymore. So go to wewantpicks.com/bets, make a deposit. They'll instantly match your deposit. Use that money and then throw it on the more on this line.